The open sea opens up before our eyes, stretching to the horizon where the deep blue water blends into the dark sky. Like a giant silk strip floating and wrapping around the fishermen's souls. For generations, the strong men born on the coast have dedicated their lives to the journey of searching for creatures that glow in the dark, the mysterious, sensitive and fascinating squid. Each of their trips to sea is like entering a new epic chapter, where the story of strength, desire to make a living are interwoven into a harsh but proud epic. Under the corrugated iron roofs located close to the edge of the waves, the sound of people's footsteps stirs at dawn, when the sea breeze is still salty, when the coconut trees still nod in the rosy morning light. They prepared the nets, fixed the high power bulbs, reinserted each sharp metal hook, carefully tied it tightly to the strong fishing line, then loaded each basket of mackerel and anchovies. Then loaded each basket of mackerel and anchovies that had just been caught into red plastic buckets to use as bait to lure the giant squid far out at sea. The faded t-shirts, the rough, sunburned hands, the scars crisscrossing the arms as evidence of a lifetime of wading with the waves. Without anyone telling them, they held hands and walked up to the ship's side, the paint worn by the salty air, the loud engine noises, the sound of waves crashing against the side and splash. Splashing seemed to welcome the warriors who had just left the dock. The seawater splashed on their faces. Salty, cold but full of alertness. "Let's go," a spirited shout rang out, starting a journey of hundreds of nautical miles, where only a brave heart could withstand the challenge. The ship cut through the waves, leaving behind the yellow street lights, leaving behind the tiled roofs of the small fishing village curved like shells. Before them was the vast silvery water, the territory of the ferocious swordfish, the yellowtail tuna, the flying fish that flew out of the water, but most importantly, the deep territory where the squids lurked in the darkness. In the engine room, the engine roared loudly like a drum beating. The young fisherman held the wheel, his eyes looking into the distance, while the old captain with gray hair still thoughtfully observed the compass, the fish finder and the GPS screen. Soon, the mainland faded away, leaving only a dark streak on the horizon. The wind blew hard, sudden showers of rain whipped up, burning the face, but in the cabin, no one was afraid. Everyone wore safety belts, divided the work, some prepared the bait, some released the lights, some operated the electric winch, some checked each bundle of fishing line. Squid fishing night is a special show. where the bright yellow lights are lit on the side of the ship like a miniature galaxy. Squid Fishing Night is a special show, where the bright yellow lights are lit on the side of the ship like a miniature galaxy, attracting the squid to come like enchanted moths. When the sun sets into the sea, the whole sky gradually changes from bright orange to cold purple, then pitch black. At that moment, it is the moment when the squids start hunting. The halogen bulbs on the ship are turned on simultaneously. The dazzling white light illuminates the pitch black sea, making each wave move like silver. The small fish are attracted first. They hover around the light, flashing like hundreds of phosphorescent lights. And then, the squid shadow appears. Long tentacles, slender semi-transparent bodies, cold eyes staring straight at the bait. From the ship's hold, everything is ready. The fishing lines with hundreds of small hooks carrying fresh bait begin to be dropped, gently sinking deep into the sea. Each hook glistened under the light, making the squids look like small fish glowing. From the side of the ship, a skinny man with sunburned skin shouted, "Get ready, let the line go smoothly. No bends." The fishing line gradually drifted, dragging with it the hope of a full catch of squid that would bring enough money for the children to study. Enough for the wife at home to fix the corrugated iron roof that had holes in it from the recent storm. The atmosphere became more tense as the clock hand moved closer to midnight. Each person stood in a row on the deck, eyes fixed on the fishing line. Hands ready to pull hard when there was a sign that the squid had taken the bait. "There it is, pull it up." The shout echoed loudly in the dark night. A 20-year-old man excitedly pulled the line very quickly, the tight line shaking violently. In the light, the silhouette of the squid was clearly visible, nearly half a meter long. Its tentacles still tightly clinging to the mackerel. It struggled and sprayed black water, trying to escape but was pierced by the hook. The fisherman jerked his hand. The squid jumped out of the water, its whole body glowing a brilliant purple-pink color, like a living gemstone. They quickly removed the hook and put it in a styrofoam cooler. In just a few minutes, the fishing line continued to vibrate violently, signaling that other squids had been attracted and rushed to the bait. The whole ship seemed to turn into a stage. Laughter rang out, footsteps ran loudly. The sound of fishing lines pulling. The sound of the electric winch slowly turning as it lifted the line heavy with dozens of squids at the same time. Some weighed up to 3 to 4 kilograms. The squid was as big as an adult's calf. Its body was silver white. Its dark eyes gleamed with ferocity. The squid sprayed streams of black ink onto the wooden floor, making everyone feel scared if they don't catch it in time. It will be as black as if it had been dyed, but they still smile, because each ink mark like that is a sign of prosperity. A squid can cost up to several $100,000. If they catch thousands, it is a big W in trip. The later the night, the higher the waves. The wind howls on the roof. The sea water splashes coldly, but no one leaves their position. The blue and orange raincoats are blown by the wind like flags signaling the tenacious vitality of the sea residents. Sometimes a giant squid jerks so hard that the fishing line almost breaks, forcing the whole group to join forces to control the winch, skillfully lifting it little by little. The sea surface flashes when the giant squid emerges. Its body is more than a meter long. Its eyes are as big as 2 chicken eggs. Gushing water. The cheers are as loud as on a football field. Each haul of rope pulled up not only brings squid but also pride. They were not just fishing for squid. They seemed to be fishing for their own luck. There was a young man who had just gotten married, hoping that this trip would be full of squid so that he could build a small house on the sandbank. There was an old father sitting at the back of the boat, occasionally pulling the line but with a distant gaze. He was on this trip to earn money to cure his sick youngest child. They were quiet, but every time they were soaked in the salty taste of the sea. In the harsh white light, they would laugh quietly, the smile of descendants of those who always faced the storm but never surrendered. On the boat, everyone took a few minutes between pulling the line to sip hot ginger tea to keep warm. A big fat man was shirtless, wearing a raincoat, telling a funny story about the time a squid sprayed his face so hard that it burned his eyes, making the whole boat laugh out loud. That laughter echoed far out to the sea, even to the sparkling stars in the sky, as if smiling and blessing them. The work is repetitive. Monotonous but never boring, dropping the line, waiting, pulling up, removing the squid, and icing. The fishy smell of squid mixed with the smell of ship paint and engine oil creates a unique flavor that only seafarers can feel, both thorny and familiar. Every time they finish removing a squid, they quickly wipe their hands on a rough cloth worn at their waist and continue working. That rhythm is like a song without words written. by human strength, by the smell of the sea, by the sound of waves and the sound of chisels. Many times, the sea changes its face. Strong winds of level 6 or 7 suddenly come rolling in with big waves. The ship rocks violently, the lights seem to be swept away by the wind. The sea surface boils with white foam. The captain orders the line to be temporarily pulled in, pulls the boat to a calmer area, and waits for the storm to pass. Everyone quickly pulls the fishing line, ties up the equipment, and uses ropes to anchor everything so that it is not swept away by the waves. In that moment, they silently looked at the sea. Everyone silently prayed for God to have mercy and calm his anger. Their faces were solemn, their eyes were tense at the wheel. Each drop of rain splashed across their faces but did not make them falter. And when the sky suddenly cleared up, when a patch of stars appeared between the dark clouds, they started again, not giving up. Let's go, there are a lot of squid. Someone's voice rang out with determination. They set the bait again, dropped the line again. Everything continued as if the storm had never happened. That was the indomitable spirit that only true fishermen could understand. Once they ventured into the sea, there was no such thing as surrender. The lights on the boat were bright from midnight to dawn, when the eastern sky began to tinge with the silver of dawn. That was when the feeling of excitement reached its peak. The last squid before dawn were the most precious spoils of war. Word of mouth has it that any squid that sticks to the hook at dawn is a smart squid, with thick, firm meat, and can be sold for double the price. Therefore, everyone on the boat keeps their eyes peeled, not missing any movement on the fishing line. From afar, the red sun like an egg yolk begins to rise above the sea, shining golden rays of light on the entire boat. Under the early morning sunlight, styrofoam boxes full of squid are lined up on the wooden floor, shiny squid bodies. Pink bodies, white bodies mixed together, tentacles curled up, like sea flowers. The seagulls begin to chirp and fly around, hoping to pick up some of the remaining fish scraps. Everyone takes the opportunity to clean the deck, turn off the lights, and prepare for the journey back. A sleepless night. The return trip is always light and full of hope. The engine roars again, the boat turns around, leaving behind the sacred sea that has given it life. In the cabin, everyone took a few minutes to catch some sleep, lying down on the net, ignoring the howling wind. Some dreamed of their wives and children. Smiling when they found out they had caught squid tonight. Some dreamed that the dry season would bring them a new, bigger boat, but some did not sleep, just sat there sipping strong black coffee made with filtered seawater, their eyes looking out towards the mainland, because just seeing the familiar silhouette of the lighthouse warmed their hearts with a simple belief that all the hardships at sea were worth it.